Yugoslavia. When I say that, you probably think about a nation that was very unstable, made out of a bunch of people that hate each other, and that's exactly what it was. But I'm not talking about that Yugoslavia. I'm talking about the Kingdom of Yugoslavia. Same thing, same borders, little less land in modern-day Slovenia. It was created out of the ashes of Austria-Hungary right after World War I, right before the Great Depression. It had two different currencies in the 20 years in between the world wars, and it being in the Balkans doesn't help their economy, as even today, the Balkans, except Romania and Greece, had a GDP of less than 100 billion, with most former Yugoslav nations being in the bottom 30 for Europe. Those are today's numbers, so imagine it 100 years ago, after a war, in a depression. Yes, I know this project is supposed to be about people of and related topics about World War I, but Yugoslavia was made out of a result of Austria-Hungary collapsing after World War I, so it counts. Yugoslavia's economy was made out of really just one source: farming. Most farmers were either rich landowners from Hungary or peasants whose top priority when farming was food for themselves. Also, this farming group made up 75% of Yugoslavia's workforce. Although Yugoslavia had a little bit of industrialization, but it was one of the least industrialized nations in Europe. And it had no machinery to help with farming, but being an active war zone for 4 years doesn't help either. It's not like they could have used that technology. Too many holes in their farming land, probably. But anyway, I lost where I was. Though there was manufacturing in the population centers, all the goods stayed in Yugoslavia. Though if they had wanted to export them, they wouldn't have been able to, because they weren't industrialized and they didn't really have the ability to ship it, even on their ports in the Adriatic, which was like quite a bit of their land. But I don't know. But even still, they were like many countries in Eastern Europe, taking a lot of loans and acquiring a lot of debt with Western Europe. And all that debt going right into a depression. Very smart. But even still, Yugoslavia had a literacy rate of 50%. That was throughout all of their territories. So some places like the Slovenia area had a very high literacy rate, like 90 or something. But then other places like Bosnia, which was one of the places that made up like a third or a quarter of their land, had a literacy rate as of low as I think it was like 40 or 50. And they had a schooling system in place, but being most of the people in Yugoslavia were poor, they couldn't take advantage of it because they couldn't get there. So Yugoslavia's two currencies were the Yugoslav krone, which was just the Austria-Hungary money, but repurposed into Yugoslavia, and that could be exchanged for it was 4-to-1 exchange rate. That could be exchanged for a Yugoslav dinar when they first started circulation. Yes, one dinar was equal to 4 Yugoslav kronen, and that would be their official currency until they collapsed in the 90s, just like every other communist country, pretty much. Also, technically, the official name of Yugoslavia was the Kingdom of Serbs, Croats, and Slovenes.